Alright guys, so today's video is on the brand new SoundPEATS Life True Wireless Earbuds. Now this is a brand new pair from SoundPEATS, and I consider SoundPEATS to be one of the best budget companies out there when it comes to earbuds. It's kind of like neck and neck between them and Earfun. But I've also decided with as many earbuds that I've tested lately and as many that I see coming out, it's time to start being a lot more critical. So I just want you guys to know that up front. So if you start hearing me point out a lot more things and be a little more picky on audio, that's not because one product may be bad. It's just because I need to start looking at the market and see that there's so many options and it's kind of hard to differentiate one from the other. But back to the SoundPEATS Life, this is a pair that comes in retailing at $39, although on their website it says $49. But right now, Amazon actually has it marked down to $29. Now, I don't know if this is just a new release price, but when you're looking at a pair that has active noise canceling, it has a gaming mode, it also works with SoundPEATS app, and being able to get those features for 29 bucks, I thought was definitely worth checking out. Now to start with, these are using Bluetooth 5.2. They do not have any high-end Bluetooth codecs they're compatible with. You really only get AAC and SBC, but I didn't have any kind of compression issues while testing these. They are also using 12mm dynamic drivers, and like I said, they have active noise canceling, and working with SoundPEATS app gives you a little more functionality because you can keep these earbuds updated within the app. There's some pre-built EQ settings you can switch between, but there's also an adaptive EQ, which you kind of go through like a hearing test, and it tries to give you an EQ setting based off the sounds that you can hear. Now, I personally did not like the result that it caused with the audio that I had. Now, you can go in and customize the EQ settings if you want to go that route. And also within the app, you can switch it into a gaming mode. Now, you can do this on the earbuds. You don't actually have to go into the app to do this. But if you're looking for a pair to use for different types of media, it's nice that you can switch it into this mode and you don't have to really worry about lag. Now, I did still notice that there is a slight lag when it comes to gaming, but again, it's minimal and it's kind of to be expected because Bluetooth in general just cannot cut out lag altogether. Now, moving over to looking at the noise canceling, which you can also switch between the different modes within the app. The noise canceling on here is just okay. Now, I've kind of seen a lot of this lately where a lot of companies are advertising active noise canceling, hybrid active noise canceling, and all of these features. But really, when you get down to testing them, and this earbud kind of falls into this category, it's nothing special. The noise canceling is not going to just immediately block out all of your surroundings. In fact, it's really just kind of blocking out subtle lower tones. So if you are in a room with an air conditioner unit or something that kind of has like a hum or a buzzing sound or anything like that, it does do a pretty decent job of blocking out those lower frequencies. But if people are talking around you or if a TV's on, you're going to hear that the same just as you would having any other pair of earbuds in your ear. So do keep that in mind if you're looking at this pair specifically for noise canceling. Do not expect anything magical. But the transparency mode, I think they did a really good job with. Now, when you turn it into transparency mode, you can immediately start to hear some of the white noise that the mics are picking up. But I am definitely able to hear my surroundings with no issues. So if I'm out running or riding a bike and I need to hear traffic, I would leave it into this mode. And you can easily carry on a conversation without having to take the earbuds out. Now, if you are going to use these outdoors, they do come in with an IPX4 rating, which basically means you can use these at the gym and not have to worry about sweat. You can use them outdoors, and if it starts to rain, you're going to be okay, or if they get splashed, it's going to be fine. Just don't submerge this pair into water. Now, as far as what all they've included inside the box, it does come with 3 sets of silicone ear tips. It also comes with a USB-C cable, which you will have to use because this pair does not have Qi wireless charging. But in this price range, it's kind of hard to expect that. But speaking of the charging, battery life on these are, again, just okay. It's not some of the best battery life that I've seen, but on a full charge, you can get about 5 hours on the earbuds with about 25 hours using the case. Now, this is at about 50% volume, so if you're going to listen to it any louder than that, you can really expect to get probably closer to 4 hours on the earbuds themselves. Now, if you do happen to pick these up and they are dead, there is no fast charge feature on these either. And I've gotten really spoiled by a lot of earbuds having this, because it's nice to be able to just pop them back in the case for, 5 or 10 minutes and get an hour or 2 hours or whatever of use. So do keep that in mind if you're somebody that doesn't always make sure your earbuds are charged. Now, moving over to looking at the case, the earbuds themselves, if you're just looking at the case without actually picking it up, it actually looks like a premium case. They gave it a leather-like design around the whole case, but when you pick it up, you'll realize that it is plastic and it kind of loses that premium feel. On the back, you can see it has the USB-C input for charging, and then around on the front, it has the single indicator light, and this just helps you gauge how much battery life is left on the case. But when you open up the lid, you can see that there is a pairing button located between both earbuds, and you can also see that at the bottom of the stems, the lights are on the earbuds. Now, this is letting you know that they're in and that they're charging. And you can see that this is a stem style design earbud, but it's a shorter stem, kind of like the AirPod Pros. It's not one of those long, obnoxious stems. You can also see that SoundPEATS logo is at the top, but it's very subtle. And this pair does use touch controls, and this still confuses me that SoundPEATS does this. They give you control over so much on the earbuds, but they don't give you the ability to go back to your previous track. You can play, pause, skip your tracks forward. You can turn your volume up and down. You can switch these into gaming mode. You can switch these into noise canceling or transparency. You can do all of that, but you cannot go back to the previous track. And I'm one of those, if I'm listening to something and I'm just feeling that song at the moment, I may want to feel it again. I want to go back and listen to it again. I just don't want to pull out my phone to have to do that. Now, if you are going to use this pair for taking phone calls, this is an area where I do think these are doing a very good job. It is picking up my voice very cleanly, and it also uses environmental noise canceling to try to block out a lot of the sounds around you. And again, I think it does a decent job at this, but you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here.
So here is the mic test using the SoundPEATS Life, and I think in this price point, this is a very impressive microphone. It does sound slightly digital, and you can see that there's some warmth added to my voice, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is the mic test for the crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public.
So now let's talk about the sound. Now, I went through the adaptive EQ process, which I did not like. I went through a lot of the different pre-built EQ settings, and I did like the bass boost setting, but a lot of the other ones, it wasn't anything drastic. And I honestly think that the best way to listen to these are just the way that they're EQ'd out of the box. If you just listen to pop or hip hop or easy listening or country or anything that's very simple, you are going to get a dynamic sound. The bass has plenty of kick to it. It actually even picks up sub bass pretty nicely. The treble's tuned up in a way where you can hear a lot of the details. Everything even kind of has a slightly brighter sound to it. And the mids, for the most part, they just kind of left alone. You can always hear vocalists clearly. They just don't sound like they're right up front singing right there in front of you. But if you listen to genres like metal or anything that's like hard rock, where there's a lot going on, especially death metal, where you have the double bass of the drums and just really fast guitar riffs and maybe somebody screaming on the mic, everything starts to kind of tone itself down some. No matter what, I still felt like mids were generally left alone, but the treble loses a little bit of its brightness, kind of the same way that the bass loses some of its boominess. So most people, which normally don't listen to those genres anyway, are going to be completely fine. Now, moving over to the soundstage and the sound imaging, this is not a very wide open sounding pair. It really kind of left me feeling like I was in a medium-sized room. But again, anything outside of metal or rock, I had no issue with being able to tell where different sounds are coming from. It's just that genre specifically that it just kind of closes everything in. So you lose your space and you lose your ability to be able to kind of pick apart different instruments. So my overall opinion on these is, at its current price point and even at its normal retail price, I think it is an excellent buy. I mean, you do miss out on features like Qi wireless charging and fast charging, and it really pisses me off that I can't go back to the previous track just simply by touching the earbuds. But if you can look past those things, you are getting noise canceling that can help dull out some of the sounds around you. You're also getting a gaming mode, which makes it where you can use this pair with different types of media. And the different EQ options, although I wasn't blown away by those options, it's nice that you're able to switch between those. And I just think having a lot of those features you're not really going to find in this price range. So I think that's what bumps up the value of these, and it makes it a pair that's really easy to recommend. But guys, that's my video on the SoundPEATS Life True Wireless Earbuds. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.